Kat Mooney of Pound Support Services. Thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I
Well,
appreciate the offer.
yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad you're here today to tell me your story because I am very intrigued. Since I met you a few networking events ago,
Hmm.
we connected that way, and we happened to see each other at the dollar store. It was kind of interesting.
Isn't that amazing? And you never know who
Yeah.
you're going to bump into in the dollar store.
Exactly, right?
Yeah,
Networking can happen anywhere. So,
correct.
yeah, I want you to begin your story. Tell me a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into Pounce. So,
Okay, well,
yeah.
great. Well, prior to chatting with you, I had shared a little bit about that I was bullied. Now, when we
Yeah.
talk about bullied, oftentimes we think about, kids in elementary school, possibly
Mm,
secondary, and, there's bullying in the workplace. And sadly, it's happened to me
yeah.
more than once.
Hmm.
And
Myself too. That's happened.
you
Yeah.
as well too.
Yeah.
And how do we stop the bully?
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in this in any way,
Yeah.
but what I can tell you is that you stand up to the bully, you stand
Hmm.
up for yourself.
Yeah.
And, this experience happened in the workplace, let's say around 15 years ago. And
Wow.
then there's some that happened, a little bit before that, a little bit after that. But at the end of the day, for me, I learned something from it. I learned
Oh,
that, yes, I learned to take my power back,
good for you.
stand up to the bully, whether that means, you know, actually confronting the person.
Hmm.
But it's really hard to do because when you're in the workplace,
Yeah.
you are working for your salary, and your salary needs
Yeah.
to pay for the rent and
Yeah.
for the mortgage and the
Hmm.
food and everything else.
Hmm.
And, sometimes we don't speak up
Yeah.
because for fear of losing our
Oh my
jobs.
God. Yes. I've been there. Yeah.
Well, I've, in my career, in the fundraising career and
Hmm.
communications career, which spans just getting closer to 30 years.
Wow.
I know, I
Oh,
know.
that's amazing.
Um, I've had to leave jobs because,
Hmm.
the organization that I was working for
Yeah.
didn't understand how we go about helping people in the fundraising communications
Wow.
business, especially fundraising.
Wow.
So, and if it's not understood and you try to bring people along and telling them and sharing with them what it's about,
Right.
sometimes they don't get it. And when they don't get it, it makes it harder. So when that grant comes in for, $10,000, woo hoo hoo, you're a
Yeah.
great fundraiser.
Yeah.
But when, another grant doesn't come in, boo, you're a bad fundraiser.
Wow.
And, although I haven't been told directly you're a bad fundraiser, I've
Hmm.
been, undermined it,
Yeah.
harassed,
Mm.
both by men and women.
Yeah.
And it's been very, and that's what I identify bullying as. Bullying is when you have somebody who is in a position of power,
Yeah.
and they have the power to, or perceived control your livelihood.
Yep.
And for me, I just didn't want to go through that anymore,
Yeah.
because one thing is when you're bullied. For me, it made me sick,
Yep.
physically sick. I had to take some time off of work a few times in my
Emotionally,
career. Yes,
mentally. Yep.
definitely.
I
I
understand.
remember one time when I lived in Montreal, I was working in an organization where the CEO at the time was bullying, picking. She would pick on everybody, not
Hmm.
just me.
Yeah.
But I remember working there 3 months, and I went in every day and I spoke to the receptionist,
Hmm.
and one day I just couldn't remember her name. So I knew there was something
Oh, wow.
not quite
That's how much
right.
it affected you. Oh
Yes,
my
definitely. Yeah,
goodness.
yeah. So that was the first time that I was bullied. And that's a number, we're going back like 25 years.
And at that time, did you like figure when that happened, you didn't know what was going on, right? Because that was your first time bullying. It's like, what's happening to me, right?
I knew that something was wrong because it didn't feel right.
Right.
My
Yeah.
gut feeling was saying, this is wrong. You got to get away from this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened is I went on a sick leave,
Hmm.
and I took some time to heal, and then I went and got another job.
Right.
And that's sometimes, sadly, what people who are in the workplace have to do is, if they're being bullied,
Hmm.
sometimes the best thing to do is to leave. Because
Yeah.
sometimes when we speak up about stuff,
Yeah.
even when we speak to, the board of directors, or we speak
HR.
HR,
Yep.
nothing gets done.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
only thing, for me, the only thing that I thought I could change is the
Hmm.
way I act. So
Yeah.
what my decisions were to get out of the
What you
organization,
have control over.
what I have control
Yeah.
over. And
Yeah.
it's something that, sadly, it's
Hmm.
still tolerated in
Yeah.
many, many work environments, including the not-for-profit sector, the corporate,
Yeah.
in all environments.
Yep.
And, we hear the expression, there are some people that are not really great fundraisers,
Mhm.
doctors, lawyers,
Mhm.
engineers, secretarial help.
Mhm.
It's the same. It's the same thing. Some
Yeah.
people just don't feel good in their, from my perception, and not that I'm an expert.
Yeah.
Some people just don't feel comfortable in their own skin.
Mhm.
They are very insecure individuals.
Yeah.
And they just make your life a working hell.
Oh yeah.
And it's in my opinion, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So one of the good things is I'm now well over that experience,
Oh,
and
great.
you know, I wanted to share with you a little bit about, you know, what we're doing today.
Yes. Let's do that.
Okay, so our company is called Pounce Support Services.
Mhm.
We specialize in fundraising and communications,
Okay.
public relations work as well.
Mhm.
And what is great about this is my company. I started in February 2020. I'm not sure where to look here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I should just
Yeah.
look at you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Started the company in February 2020,
Mhm.
and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of potential clients that wanted to do business with us, but because of COVID,
Yep.
sadly we were ghosted. And that's
Right.
okay. They will, if they need to come back at any other time,
Yeah.
we'll
You'll
welcome
welcome
them
them?
with open arms.
Aw.
So the long and the short, I'm very grateful to somebody. Her name is Ingrid Schiffer.
Mhm.
She is the alpha, the CEO
Aw.
of Schiff and the City. And today, this is where we're doing the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you, Ingrid, for this
Thank you,
space.
Ingrid.
Yeah.
But Ingrid is not only sharing the space. Ingrid was the person who actually encouraged me. She says, "Kat, you can do this for yourself. You are so good at what you do." And, you know, I listened to her.
Yeah.
And then I decided to take that big leap of faith.
Yeah.
And so Ingrid was very, very, very helpful. Ingrid and I knew each other from the Realtors Community Foundation from 2017.
Oh my.
I hired her to do
Oh.
some work for the foundation. And after that, now we became really good friends. And I am now her client.
Oh.
So as you can see, our website,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could see it here, but if you go to our website, which is
Yeah.
pouncesupportservices.com,
Okay.
at the bottom of the website, you'll say managed, created and managed by Schiff and the City.
Oh,
So this
nice.
is a custom website that Ingrid did. I probably am one of her pickiest clients, but she still loves me. And yeah, what are we doing? We're working with people. We're working with organizations across Canada. We have we provide a complimentary monthly e-newsletter.
Oh, okay.
And I'm very proud in saying that we have 2.5 years, which is, we're getting closer to how many? 24, 30 or so issues thus far.
Wow.
And we have a team. I'm very proud of my team, and I'm going to get everybody's name. John, Ron, Charles, Emad, Mirand,
Wow.
Pavneet,
Wow.
Sarah, and Brianna, and
Oh my
myself.
goodness.
So we're a 9-person team. Sounds very, very big, but when we have clients, our clients have different needs. So as an example, somebody wants to do some work on charitable giving through grants.
Okay.
We have Mirand, who is an expert at grant writing for the government. When somebody needs research done
Yeah.
for, who are we going to apply to?
Yeah.
Which foundations? We have Pavneet, who does the research piece for all of the foundations.
Okay.
When we have some of the newsletters, some of the stories, we write
Yeah.
about our clients. We write about human issues,
Yeah.
things that everyone can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
We have Brianna and Sarah. We have, when we're working on a capital campaign, we have John and Charles and myself.
Okay.
And then we have Ron, who is an expert in legacy giving.
Okay.
And, he talks a lot about,
Yeah.
the financial incentives that donors, may want to take advantage of. Emad, he does everything in fund development. And he's really loves the artificial intelligence.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
AI. I don't know.
I
But
know.
yeah, I know and I don't know.
There's so much to know, and there's so much
Right.
catching up to do.
Yeah.
And myself, I specialize in, like I said, fundraising communications. I've been in the trenches. I understand what it's like to be there. I've been blessed to go to work every day and love what I do. And,
Yeah.
when I said that I was bullied, it wasn't the organization. I
Yeah.
worked with some fantastic
Right.
organizations. It's people. People either
Yeah.
make it or break it.
Yes.
And that's the difference.
Yeah.
But, I've worked for lots of organizations such as the YMCA in Montreal, the Boys and Girls Club in Montreal,
Wow.
came to Edmonton almost 20 years ago. I can't believe the time has gone so fast.
Incredible.
When I came here, I didn't know any of the organization. I didn't know any of the key
Wow.
players. I was with an organization called Ketchup Canada Inc., or today it's called KCI, and it's a fundraising firm.
Okay.
And they didn't have any contracts, so I was on the bench, so to speak, waiting for a contract. But in the meantime, I kept hearing Stollery, 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 and I said, "Who's Stollery?"
Yeah.
And I wanted to know more about them. So what happened was I went and I actually applied for a job working for the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation.
Oh, no way.
And when I was there in 2004, 2005, there was two fundraisers and my supervisor, Mary Lou Hamilton. And we were doing the fundraising. Today, the CEO is Mike House.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a CEO doing a wonderful job. He has a wonderful group of fundraisers. There's multiple fundraisers there, which is fantastic.
Wow.
But anyhow, times change, things change, and I decided, that I would take Ingrid's recommendation and start my own company. And there's lots of things that I've been learning. We've celebrated 3 years.
Yeah.
And we're still in business, which is really great considering all the things that have happened during COVID.
To COVID, yeah.
But it's so nice to be able to come out and to meet, like today with you, and to meet people in person.
Yeah.
So COVID is not, COVID's not there anymore,
Right.
which is a great thing.
Right.
So-
Wow, that's amazing. So do you find, I don't want to really go back to bullying, but the question was still stuck in my mind. It's come to the forefront, I've noticed, especially with mental health and supports. I know you talked about corporations still lagging in that support, right? With
Absolutely.
bullying.
I think so.
And I've been out of the corporate world for a bit now, just a few years. I feel like it's still there, but do you find that since it happened to you 20 plus years ago or so, that there have been slight improvements, or do you think there still needs to be conversations had?
I definitely think there's conversations need to be had.
Yeah.
I think there's more and more people that are coming out in the open and talking about it,
Yes.
discussing it.
Yeah.
Are things getting better?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I have a colleague, her name is Ruth Ann Weeks, and she specializes in this area.
Oh.
And her company is called, Harmony. Anyhow, if
Yeah.
you want to Google
Yeah.
Ruth Ann Weeks,
Okay.
she's an expert in the field.
Oh,
And-
that's good to hear that there's.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that happening.
there's lots of people that are talking about
Yeah.
it. And you know what the really sad thing is, a lot of people are being affected by it.
Yeah.
And this is not in my
Mm-hmm.
belief and what what I think. I think the way forward for people to be human to each other,
Yeah.
love is the way forward.
Absolutely, and kindness and
Kindness,
compassion.
compassion.
But for me, I think it starts from the top, right? I think they need to make those decisions. The top needs to listen to its people working under them. That's what I find is once they listen to what we have to say and that this stuff is happening, I think that's the only way changes are going to be made. I was just teaching a class this morning about listening in the business setting, and we were looking at Amazon and Walmart, these big corporations,
Right.
and how their listening practices have maybe changed the way the company operates, listening to their employees as well as listening to their customers, right? Because the two and two go together. You can't have a successful business unless your employees are happy and your customers are happy, right?
Well, the statistics show that happy employees are more productive. In the
Exactly.
workplace. So
Yeah.
you want your employees
Yeah.
to be productive.
Yeah. And we talk about LinkedIn. I see so many posts on that. And those posts resonate with me, especially when they talk about, management and keeping their employees within the organization, right? I know it's a conversation that needs to be continuously had, and hopefully there'll be changes made.
Hopefully. And
Yeah.
you know what? The other thing too is when, the company or the not-for-profit organization, they spend time and money,
Yeah.
providing the orientation to the person, doing the recruitment
Right.
piece.
Yeah.
You don't want to have your organization become a revolving door.
Exactly.
But if you have good people who are in it, you have people that are honest, you have a boss who has your back,
Yeah.
that's really, for me, that's really important. I'm sure it's important for
Absolutely.
others.
Yep. I can tell you a million situations that I've been in where that happened, with the bullying. And maybe those people now would probably think, no, that didn't really happen to you. I also like to think that, because I'm a person of color, that came into play, right? They won't say it, but my experience and my feelings, that's what I was feeling. And
Well, you
so,
know what? Nobody can argue with anybody's feelings. If you're
yeah,
feeling something, whether right or wrong, it's not
yeah,
about the right and wrong. It's
yeah,
what you're feeling at the time.
exactly, exactly.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, this is a good conversation we're having. Now let's go back to the business that you're in.
yes,
What aside from Ingrid pushing you, which is awesome. I love
she's
people who
lovely.
support you and say
Yes.
you can do this, kind of be your champion.
Hmm.
What led up to, because for me when I took on this entrepreneur journey, I had people that pushed me and said, you could do this too. But then it was like I had to go on a journey of self discovery, kind of go back to what my talents were, what my passions were. What also helped you kind of push you to go on this journey?
Well, if I don't give any credit to my husband Stan, I'll be in big trouble.
Oh,
So, all kidding aside,
yeah.
Stan has always been
Oh,
the bigger provider for
oh,
home.
yeah.
And, without Stan and without his financial support and
Mm-hmm.
his emotional support, I would
Oh,
not be able to do what I'm doing now. So I recognize that. And when,
yeah.
a single person, it's a tough journey,
Oh, yeah.
tougher journey.
Yep.
Yeah, Stan has been very, very, very supportive. You can do it. Get out there. We got to pay the bills.
Isn't that
He's
important?
and he's teasing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true, but
Yeah.
he's not.
Yeah.
He's coming from a place. He's coming from a good place in his heart.
Place of love and
So
support and kind. Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah, I'm
were
lucky.
very lucky to have that.
I
Oh
am.
my
I
gosh.
am, and I do my
Wow.
very best not to take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned throughout my life is that you
Mm-hmm.
can have all what you need today,
Yep.
and you can lose some of it tomorrow, and then vice
Absolutely.
versa. So
Yeah.
we don't know what life is bringing
Yep.
to us and
Mm-hmm.
which journey we're going to go
Yeah.
forward on. But yeah, it's Ingrid, it's Stan, my family, my friends, and
Oh.
they're so excited. I
Oh.
think a lot of it too stems from my biological dad. He was
Mm.
an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had a record company in the
Wow.
70s. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm dating myself now. Although I didn't really know him, but I knew
Yeah.
I found out about what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his brother owned a record company.
Wow.
Um, and yeah, I think maybe I get that,
Yeah.
maybe that
In
little
your
piece is
blood.
in my DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Oh.
I'm a creative individual. I
Mm-hmm.
love working with people.
Yeah.
I love I love when organizations succeed
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and I know this for a fact, I I didn't grow up wanting to be a fundraiser.
Right.
Gosh,
Right.
no. I wanted to be a social service worker, and that's what I accomplished.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so when I lived in Montreal, I
Mm-hmm.
went to work at the Boys and Girls Club in a
Okay.
program. It was called the Stay in School Initiatives program, and it was a funded program by the Canadian government. We received seasonal funding,
Mm-hmm.
and 3 years into the program, we're working with these amazing kids that
Mm-hmm.
have so much spirit
Yeah.
and love for life, but they were having trouble in school because
Yeah.
of some of the issues they were
Right.
experiencing, either at home, the
Mm-hmm.
bullying,
Yep.
poverty,
Yeah. All these
alcohol and
social issues
drugs, all the
happening.
social issues,
Yeah.
exactly.
Wow.
And, then the liaison officer from the federal government says, we
Mm-hmm.
love what you're doing, continue to do it. But we're only going to give you 2 more months of funding. So I said,
Oh
oh,
no.
what are we going to do? So the
Yeah.
director at the time said, Kat, start writing grant proposals to the
Oh.
family foundations. And I figured, oh, this will work.
Yeah.
We're only looking for literally a drop in their,
Yeah.
their multi-million dollar
Right.
resource
Yeah.
allocation. Anyhow, so wrote about 25 applications,
Oh.
came back, they were all declined.
Oh no.
And then I was left with the job to tell the kids that they no longer have their program that they bought into.
Oh.
It was heartbreaking, and I never wanted to be on that side of the fence again.
No
So
kidding.
that is the start of where my fundraising roots began.
That's where your fire started.
Oh, at the
Oh.
end of the day, and I tell our clients
Yeah.
this, I say at the end of the
Mhm.
day, if you do not have the money, no matter
Yeah.
how wonderful your
Yeah.
program and
Yeah.
services are,
Mhm.
you cannot help the people or,
Yeah.
the animals that need the help.
Yeah.
And, it's just that. But sometimes that message is very hard for people to understand because they're
Absolutely.
running these incredible programs that
Mhm.
do so much good. But at the end of the day, things cost money.
Yeah.
So what we do at Pound Support Services, we
Mhm.
help charitable organizations. We
Mhm.
also work with entrepreneurs, corporations, foundations as well.
Hmm.
But I'd say about 75 to 80% of our business is
Yeah.
working with the not-for-profits and charitable organizations. But one of the things that we find, we do our best to help them to raise money. We meet the clients where they're at. So we have one client that was just getting started in
Mm-hmm.
fundraising because, the funding from the government ceased,
Yeah.
as did, what I did
Yeah.
long
Oh.
time ago. And so we were helping them to build a fundraising program from, from the bottom, not from bottom to
Yeah.
top, but a fully fledged program that would
Wow.
generate some results.
Yeah.
So we've been doing quite a bit of work.
Wow.
So
I just learned a lot about the work you do and you as a human through this. This is amazing. So,
Thank you.
just the fact that you do the social work and that really your work, you're helping still other people.
And that's what I love about, like, I've been blessed to do what I do. I
Yeah.
have the social service side
Yeah.
married to the fundraising side. And that experience about not getting the money for the grant, that stays very close, very
Well,
near
for
and dear to
sure.
my heart. And I share it with people,
Yeah.
I share with people so that I'm hoping that they'll help them to understand that if they don't have the money, they can't have the program.
Yeah.
And today, charitable organizations, just past COVID, I'm hearing from clients and
Yeah.
colleagues that they're having a really hard time financially sustaining
Yeah.
and having capacity
Yeah.
to continue the programming. During
Yeah.
COVID, no, I won't say many, some organizations received funding.
Yeah.
So we know anything related to food, anything food, necessities and things like that. A lot of corporations decided to give to those organizations, and they cut back a little bit on all of their other organizations.
Yeah.
So, but now where are those grants? Those grants are not
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There was recently a grant called the Community Services Recovery Fund,
Okay.
and that was a was it $400 million initiative from the federal government.
Oh.
I'm very, very happy to report that 2 of our clients received full funding.
Oh my
in the
gosh,
amount that they did.
yay.
Yes, we're so pleased.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We're so pleased. And
Yeah.
you know what? We share the credit with our team members. So it's a team effort in our organization. In terms of how I, got to connect with these
Yeah.
people, they're people that I knew and people who are like-minded and they really want to make a difference in our community.
Yeah.
They care about the people.
Yeah.
And I find today that's where we need to be. That's where we need to go forward with. So,
Wow. You
you know.
just, my mind blew up, and I have a feeling that we're going to have some more conversations between you and I off podcast
no
camera.
problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
no, my brain just went. So,
No problem.
wow, this is amazing. Just learning about what you do and who you are. Thank you for your time. But before we go, I think I have a very important question that you need to answer.
Oh my God.
And that
Okay.
is, what matters to you? What matters to Kat?
I'd say first and foremost, the thing that came to mind was my family. My husband, my nieces, my nephews, my sister-in-laws, my brother-in-laws, my family. And my friends. My friends are part of that family.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, because at the end of our journey in this lifetime, I don't think we're going to want to know how, we don't need to do another email. We don't
Right.
need to read another book. We don't need another meeting. But we need to be surrounded with the people we love and who love us.
Yes. Well, well said.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I look forward to chatting with you
Yes.
again.
Oh, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.